that why you're based in Switzerland? Is it because they're like Switzerland is known as being a pretty crypto-friendly country? They're probably one of the most crypto-friendly in the world. So how does being based there give you guys a strategic advantage for what you're trying to accomplish right now?
I think the DLT law itself, like the blockchain law of Switzerland, which are very easy to understand. You can go to the regulator, you can get a very quick answer. I think that's the strategic advantage being here. We like Switzerland has such a long history, everything from Ethereum Foundation and more crypto products. You have big crypto banks like Signum, Bitcoin Swiss. It's quite integrated into the society, and you have a lot of expertise from lawyers to accountants to audits to how this new digital asset class work.
I mean, even before crypto, right, Switzerland has always been considered one of the, if not the best place in the world to store any kind of funds or assets that you may have. But a big issue within the crypto community, and we see it all the time, is the security element as we kind of navigate out of this Wild West era of crypto and Bitcoin into a more structured system going forward as these new guardrails are getting placed in, in each country. And it's all, like we kind of talked about, different from country to country. If someone was with FinPeers, for instance, and they lost access to their account, how do you make sure that someone's investment is still safe and they can get access to it if they were to lose it initially? Like, these are things I'm always thinking about as we build these new products into this kind of new frontier.
Yeah, the good thing about these security tokens is that they are within the financial regulation. So if you lose your access to your wallet, we can always recover that wallet since you have the legal document that you own that part of the company. So it already exists technology that can do that.
Got it. And who is in the FinPeers community right now? Is it mostly wealthy individuals? I know you mentioned family offices. Is it a mix? Like, who are you really appealing to right now, especially for people in our audience that are interested in the services that you provide?
I think they're in general optimists when it comes to technology, and many of them are Bitcoin holders. I mean, a lot of our success has been in Bitcoin products. So basically, like, yeah, if you want to invest into the Bitcoin ecosystem, that's like our sweet spot of investors currently.
Is Bitcoin always been the plan from day one, or were you ever like considering Ethereum or other options in terms of investing, or are you guys always been Bitcoin centric from the jump?
No, so we started as a borderless technology investment provider, but we quickly understood that Bitcoin itself is an industry that we personally believe in. I personally allocated a lot of my personal funds to Bitcoin. So supporting the Bitcoin and being the investor relationship of Bitcoin and building on top of Bitcoin is where we wanted to spend our time. And so more or less only Bitcoin and Bitcoin related investments now.
Okay. I think a lot of people share that sentiment and why we're seeing a lot of Bitcoin focused or almost Bitcoin only companies right now. Who would you say at this moment would be your closest competitor in this space? And how does FinPeers, what do you guys do to actually differentiate yourself and stand out from those competitors right now?
I think at the end of the day, we do capital raising, and so we compete with many of the big investment banks. But our like niche is that we do more or less Bitcoin only, and therefore we have access to the big profiles in the industry. We know the best hedge funds. We know very good access to early stage, all the way up to the Bitcoin treasury companies. We can connect investors directly with the stakeholders in the industry that have been here for many years already. And since we do that every day, it gives us a competitive advantage over those that provides all the other investments as well.
That makes a lot of sense. And for our audience out there that's watching us and they're listening to all this new information about FinPeers and what you do. If one of them wanted to join FinPeers tomorrow, what would that journey look like from them signing up to investing in their first deal? Can you walk us through that process?
So we have a very white glove services at the moment. We have capacity to onboard and understand each investor. They will send us an email or click the become a member button on the website, and we'll set up a interview or a call with them to truly understand their demand and why they want to allocate to the Bitcoin industry, and there also map out what potential investments we can help them with.
What would you tell them to convince them that it is in fact a good idea for their company's future?
So it's two different things you need to consider. Then one is, do you want to be a Bitcoin treasury company? Bitcoin treasury companies is all about increasing Bitcoin per share. But if you have an operating business and want to take advantage of your surplus capital, and you want to store that, and instead of paying dividends, you want to increase shareholder value by buying more Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin like a share buyback or increasing net asset value in a different way. That's also a brilliant idea. I think you will also see asset classes coming together, like real estate plus real estate plus Bitcoin, and real estate plus private equity, where you can actually ride the wave of Bitcoin and adding operational excellence on top of it. So you should really understand, do I want to be a Bitcoin treasury company, all about raising capital, finding capital structure to increase Bitcoin per share over time, and that's your product? Or are you an operating business with a Bitcoin on the balance sheet strategy, which is also great, but it's how you communicate that to the market is different. And because putting Bitcoin on your balance sheet doesn't necessarily make you a Bitcoin treasury company.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And in your business, do you find your clientele, is it much younger, or do you find yourself having to ever orange pill people from the older guard in traditional finance and get them in? And how do you go about convincing someone who manages a lot of wealth but is kind of stuck in old world finance? How do you tell them to do things differently now, and why should they be doing it differently?
So I think I haven't rarely seen someone spending 20 hours or more studying Bitcoin that didn't end up allocating at least some of their portfolio to Bitcoin. And I think many of those that have seen the real estate wave understand that, okay, this is also like a type of digital real estate, and you see the demand and ask themselves, okay, do my grandchildren or my children, are they more likely to buy Bitcoin or an extra apartment? I think many people comes up with the conclusion that they will buy Bitcoin, and therefore I should allocate some, because the demand of that fixed supply asset that are incorruptible and easy to transfer all around the world and internet native, that should be a good idea. And after studying 20 more hours, they start to be more and more Bitcoin maxi. And we have seen this over and over again. And even very sophisticated big family offices ends up having maybe 20 or 30% of their wealth in Bitcoin or Bitcoin related products.
So it sounds like anyone who's not already investing some of their money into Bitcoin, it's probably an issue of not having the educational aspect down yet, right? They haven't put in the time, because once you do it, it seems inevitable that people kind of orange pill themselves once they've put in that time to research what Bitcoin is all about. Do you have any recommendations for books or other podcasts or places people should be going to get some really great info so they can kind of start their own journey into the Bitcoin space if they haven't already?
Yeah, I think every journey into Bitcoin, I think, is unique. And I think the Bitcoin Standard is a great book, for example, which basically give you a little bit of history. It gives you a little bit about the asset, and that's a great place to start from a book perspective. But if you have a decent amount of money, and send us, or everyone send us a message, and we can put you in touch with someone that can really teach you, or maybe share their experience into, because we are humans at the end of the day, and we like to learn from others. And that's what we try to do with FinPeers, like be the safe place where people can reach out and ask the question without like needing to go online or feel dumb, but we can educate them, because we are in the same team, and hopefully eventually they will invest with us. And so it's an investment worth doing for us as well.